So here's some statistics. They say 20% of women cheat because they are in a sexless marriage. 35% of cheating married moms say they just want to spice things up. 56% of men who cheat actually rate their marriage as happy, very happy. So they are just cheating because, obviously. And 34% of women who cheat actually rate their marriage as happy and very happy. Welcome to the Secret Life Podcast. Tell me your secret. I'll tell you mine. Sometimes you have to go through the darkness to reach the light. That's what I did. After 12 years of recovery in sex and love addiction, I finally found my soulmate, myself. Please join me in my novel, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, a 4-time bestseller on Amazon. It's a brutal, honest, raw, gnarly ride, but hilarious at the same time. Check it out now on Amazon. Welcome to Secret Life Podcast. I'm Brianne Davis-Gantt. Today I'm pulling back the curtains of all kinds of human secrets. We'll hear about what people are hiding from themselves or others. You know those deep, dark secrets you probably want to take to your grave? Or those lighter, funnier secrets that are just plain embarrassing? Join me each week as we take a deep dive into one subject matter, exploring the how, what, when, where, and why of it all. Get ready for a more focused, more revealing journey of the human experience. This is Secret Life, and I'm excited for you to join the ride. Today, we are talking about why do people cheat? Oh my God, I can't believe I've never done this subject matter. I mean, I wrote a whole book about sex and love addiction, and most of the time that is about cheating and people being addicted to sex and love and affairs. And, you know, when anybody talks about sex and love addiction, they automatically go to like, oh my God, sex addiction. And they always talk about cheating and talking about that. So I'm surprised I haven't done this subject. So here we go. We are diving in. Let's even talk about it. So here's some statistics. They say 20% of women cheat because they are in a sexless marriage. 35% of cheating married moms say they just want to spice things up. 56% of men who cheat actually rate their marriage as happy, very happy. So they are just cheating because, obviously. And 34% of women who cheat actually rate their marriage as happy and very happy. Here's what they say in these percentages. Women cheat because they are attracted to the person. That's 44%. And they need affirmation and to be desirable is 32%. And men cheat because they want more sex than they are getting. 48% of men say that. And 47%, they just want more variety of sex. Now, what do you think and what do people think as constitute as cheating? Most people just say cheating is someone having an affair. Now, I actually think cheating is more than that. You know, being in recovery for over 15 years of sex and love addiction, my definition of cheating is a lot more defined. For example, I think, emotional affairs are cheating. I think for me, excuse me, I think for me, I don't have any guy friends. I have to, I don't use porn. I'm not into that. I do not have any fantasy internet affairs. I don't DM with anybody. I don't text with any men in an appropriate way. I don't really have any intimate relationships with any men whatsoever. But a list of what constitutes generally for cheating is pornography use, private masturbation, cam sex online, fantasy internet affairs, having an intimate relationship with someone outside of a relationship, sex outside of a relationship, and emotional affairs. Those are usually constituting as cheating. But why? Why do people cheat? Even people who cheat on their ideal partner, like the most ideal partner, and I have said this, and I heard this man one time said, In a meeting, he said he was speaking. I think he had like 20 years of sobriety and sex and love addiction. You can see the most attractive person, and sooner or later, someone's tired of fucking them because it's not about what their partner looks like. The partner could be the most ideal partner, but someone who cheats feels like they don't deserve that person. And whatever that means, it means that something is deeply missing inside of that person, and they decide to blame the relationship. So I believe cheating is about an emptiness inside of the person themselves. So anybody that goes out and looks for someone outside of their relationship, there's a deep, empty hole inside of them that are using other people to fill them. Give me validation, give me the attention, give me some intrigue, give me some flirting. So I even look at flirting as cheating because you are going outside of your relationship to get high, to feel better, to feel worthy. So for me, a rule is within the first one or two sentences, I meet the opposite sex. I am mentioning my husband. I am saying, Mark, my husband, Mark, I have been married with my husband for 20 years. I am immediately mentioning I am not available. You are not flirting with me. I am not available. And I do not give off those vibes. Now, before that, 20 years ago, I flirted with a chair. And that's because I was empty. I was looking for outside attention to validate me. Now, here is why other people, I believe, cheat too. They need some mystery to make their life interesting. So majority of people think they cheat because they hate boredom. They want to escape boredom. And what is boredom? And I tell people this, what is boredom? What do you think boredom is? Boredom is a feeling. People are afraid of boredom. They can't sit in boredom. And boredom is an unfelt feeling because half of the time boredom is not feeling sadness, not sitting within yourself, because boredom is unfelt creativity, not letting your imagination go, not feeling an unfelt feeling. So they don't want to sit in it. So they would rather escape boredom, go into fantasy, intrigue with that woman over there at the coffee shop or that man or whoever. They want to learn new things. Their partner's not stimulating them, so they want to learn new things. They want some kind of mystery. They want to improve their social status, so they will reach outside and try to reach up to get higher status in their life. So they will go for higher status. Another reason people love to cheat is they feel above the law. They don't feel rules apply to them. They want to take revenge. Maybe they felt their partner cheated on them or was inappropriate or didn't show up for them or their job took precedent or they were workaholics. And so they want to take revenge and said, oh, I wasn't getting the attention, so I'm going to go elsewhere. They believe they deserve better than their spouse. A lot of times people get married too quickly and they don't realize who their spouse is. So then they get to say, well, I didn't know I'm better than my spouse. So they decide instead of to break up their marriage, they go outside and cheat. Wonder if something is better out there. I mean, I'm even just working with a couple right now. It's like, maybe I should wait and see if there's somebody or date around and see. And it's like, if you're already having that thought, something's there. Something's in you that can't fully connect or always in fantasy thinking something is better out there. They value emotions more than long-term goals. So they value that emotional high feeling, that emotional intensity feeling more than the long-term goal of like the long-term commitment. So that intensity emotional feeling, like sometimes your feelings aren't facts, sometimes historical. Sometimes that intensity feeling you get from a new person isn't fucking real. Their partner is emotionally unavailable. Now, this is where I do see if you are in an emotionally unavailable relationship, there is a part in it. You picked a partner who's emotionally unavailable. So it almost gives you an excuse to then go elsewhere and create fantasy elsewhere. don't think that that person you're choosing isn't unavailable too, because there's a part of you that's unavailable because you're with somebody else. So don't think they're the magical person. Likes to fall into other people's realities. This is one of my favorites. You love to create fantasy in other people's realities, so you get to fall into somebody else's reality for a short bit, and they get to fall right back out. So people love to cheat because they don't like to be in their reality. You love to live in the fantasy, in the secret world, on the skirts, edgy skirts of reality. And they like to blame their partners for their unfulfilled dreams. That's the emptiness I'm talking about. This deep, deep emptiness of blaming others for it. And so when you put that all together, it's a very high level of boredom, dissatisfaction, blaming others, wanting this feeling of superiority, low self-esteem, impulse control. They have no impulse control. And then on top of it, it's this grandiose, egotistical, like narcissistic tendencies that they are above it all and the rules don't apply to them. So this is why people tend to cheat. And with that all is this deep, deep sense of emptiness. And usually that is attached with alcoholic behavior, drugs, and other things like shopping, body dysmorphia, because all of that is usually attached with cheating because you're so obsessed with the outside. And usually you have to numb yourself out when you're doing the cheating behavior. So here's the reason people always say to me, and I just want to tell you them, and I wrote them down. When I work with somebody who cheats, these are the reasons they tell me, word for word. I like the attention, but I expect my partner's cheating. They're cheating, so I just did it. Well, we weren't a good fit, so I just did it anyways. And I just felt like I needed to be with someone that's more sexually active. I wasn't getting what I need. My partner and I just drifted apart, and I just couldn't resist. They were so irresistible. She was just so irresistible at the bar, and I just needed that excitement. I was just so dull in my existence, and there was just such imbalance in our relationship. Excuses. You just can't sit in yourself and look at yourself. And if you are that unhappy with self, you need to sit. So how do you do this? How do you look at yourself and all that shit you just told me and all the reasons why you go off and cheat? How do you then stop it? Look at yourself, look at your behavior, and change this behavior. Because here's the thing. They say, in that fucking stupid saying, cheaters will never change. Cheaters can't change. That's not true. I was a cheater. I've changed. I don't cheat. And I can tell you, cheaters do change. You just have to do the work. So how do you save yourself? How do you save your marriage? How do you save your relationship? How do you do it? First of all, both people have to do it. So if you're in a relationship and you were cheating and you got caught, both people have to make the decision to stay in it and do the work because it takes both people. Both people have to do the work. It's not just the person that cheats. The other person has to look at themselves and see why they were with someone that cheated, what in them caused, because both people are responsible. Not just one, both people. All right, so both people have to do it. Then the lying has to stop. The secrets have to stop. And honesty has to rise to the surface. You have to end whatever affairs you're having, side hustles, texting, extra phones if you have one, any extra friendships you have that are just friends. Sure, okay, just friends. Nobody's just friends. You have to get rid of all of that. You have to take responsibility, accountability. You have to admit you're wrong, take full accountability, and then you have to forgive yourself. But when you do that, you first have to do the work and see why you did it. So you can't just forgive yourself. You got to do the work. And then you also have to be open and patient with your partner to forgive you. But it's a long process. That's just me giving you the short version. So here we go. This is the long version. So here we go. You have to identify the underlying reason of this behavior and start setting boundaries with yourself, which is really fucking hard. And you don't need to set unrealistic boundaries. Your partner cannot put unrealistic shit on you if you're the cheater. So here, these things cannot be happening because they can prevent the partner from actually healing. So the partner cannot say you can never talk to a female or a male ever again, ever, ever, ever. No. The cheater has to make that decision. The cheater has to be the one that says, I am making the choice never to talk to that sex again. I can't do it for me. And then the partner is thankful for that. Does that make sense? If it's the partner making that choice, it will never work. The cheater will actually become resentful. So it has to be the cheater's choice. Number 2, sharing passwords, emails, social media. It has to be a decision between the couple. And the cheater has to make the decision to share the passwords and the emails with the couple, with the partner. The partner cannot be like, you have to share the passwords in the email. Again, resentment happens. You cannot spend every waking moment together to make sure the cheater doesn't cheat. That does not work. You cannot supervise the cheater to make sure they don't cheat. That is called enmeshment. It will never work. The cheater will get resentful. You cannot get so enmeshed and supervise like you're supervising a child. That will not work. You cannot literally hide or deny that you're attracted to the opposite sex or the sex. Like, you looked at her, you looked at her, you looked at him, you're attracted, you're not attracted. Like, you can't do that. You have to be in reality that your husband, your wife cheated. They probably are attracted to that person. You have to work on your own resentments and work on your own self and understand that your husband or wife will be attracted to that person. And you have to understand that that is going to happen, but you are learning to trust them. Do you see what I'm saying? And then you cannot prohibit them from masturbating or socializing with their friends and things like that. There has to be an agreement. The cheater or the one that masturbates or looks at porn, that's their program. That's what they have to work on. So it has to come from the person that had the problem, not the partner, because that's not how it works. They are the one that has to make the decision. If it works any other way, then the partner should just leave. They should say, I'm sorry, if you're not going to do these things, if you're not going to work on yourself and see why you used all these things outside of yourself, then I'm going to have to divorce you or leave this relationship. And that partner should then leave. So with those things, you cheaters out there, listen. Self-reflection. Time to do some self-fucking reflection. Time to get down to the root cause of why you have a lack of intimacy. Intimacy. You don't want someone to see you. You cannot connect fully. You literally disconnect. You use other people to fill you. You literally take other people's energy and suck it up. You feel neglected. You have a deep, deep issue of intimacy, abandonment, taking other people's energy. You are literally broken inside, and it is time to heal yourself. So go to 12-step, go to therapy, do some inner child work, see where there's some sexual assaults, sexual abuse, enmeshment with mom, enmeshment with dad, mother wound, father wound, emotional incest, who knows? Do some self-reflection and then evaluate your communication. Where are you not honest with yourself? Where are you lacking commitment, communication? Where are you compulsive lying? What part of you, where did you start lying? Where did you learn that from? Was that from your father wound? Because usually that comes from a self-image wound. Where did you learn how to be dishonest? Who taught you that? What images did you see of this behavior growing up? Then learn to have an open communication with your partner. Talk openly about your needs, your concerns, your desires. When they put you down, talk that when you say that, this is how it makes me feel. Then start setting boundaries about cheating, the expectations, where each expectation lies. Then actively listen to your partner's needs. What are their needs? What do they need? How do they need to be touched? And start talking. Talk, communicate, open up, force intimacy. Emotional intimacy. That is number one. Do not cheat because someone has to see you. Manage temptations. This is number one. Limit contact with any people that might tempt you. For 2 years, I did not make eye contact with any men. That means waiters. That means every male. I got rid of every male friend. I used every male, even friends, to give me attention, validation, flirt with. I did not literally talk to waiters. I would stare down and say, yes, can I have the hamburger, please? Literally cut it all to contact with male attention. And the moment at 6 months that I looked at a 16-year-old at an In-N-Out burger when I was ordering a burger, he literally was like, it was like hair went up my arm when he was like, ooh, she's hot, attractive. I was like, intensity. Oh, someone flirted with me. A 16-year-old at an In-N-Out burger drive-thru. Like, that's insane. Like, gross. Like, I should not be getting high off a 16-year-old making that noise at me. That's crazy. That's how intense I liked the power and control over the male species. Like, that's insane. So stop making eye contact with that sex. Stop flirting. Stop looking at it. Eyes down to the ground. Don't look and see how much you go into withdrawal. Practice healthy coping skills. Meditate. Do some DBT skills, CBT skills. Do some acupuncture. Work on your nervous system. Literally go for a walk outside when you are spiraling. Go into withdrawal from that attention validation. Stop looking at your phone. Stop going on social media. Stop getting the hits. Get away from porn, get away from any sexual images, stay away from movies, don't read romance books, don't listen to music. Like, you gotta go cold turkey, stay away from temptations, don't go down the street where they lived. Literally get rid of the phone numbers, block people. And focus on your relationship. Strengthen the bond to your partner. Strengthen the bond to your good friends that are supportive, not the toxic friends that drag you into the mud and say horrible things and say toxic shit and bring up your exes or anything. And seek professional help. Go to couples therapy, go to individual therapy, go to 12-step group like CODA, Al-Anon, sex and love addiction, sex addiction. Any of the people programs, hit them hard. Keep going. Everybody there knows what you're talking about, and work hard on yourself, and you will never cheat again. Because you don't need other people to fill you. Because here's what I'm going to tell you as a woman that used to cheat all the time. It is so freeing to never, ever, ever have to use another person to fill you. And I say this, and please take it with a grain of salt. I don't need another person on this planet to make me feel good about myself. I don't need anybody to flirt with me, validate me, tell me I look good, even my own fucking husband. And I love him very dearly. And I say this whenever I speak anywhere, go and do. If my husband left me today, I would be okay. I would miss him. I would grieve. I would be upset. But I would be okay because I'm a full person. And I couldn't say that. When I was cheating. I was always looking for that soulmate, that person to fix me, that next high, that next flirting, that next fantasy, that next falling in love, all that bullshit. It's not real. Fall in love with yourself. Be connected to yourself. No one outside of you will complete you. Find your purpose. Find yourself, because you're born with yourself and you die with yourself. No one else is fucking going with you. Your kids are not going with you. Your partner's not going with you. That fucking dude down the street, that woman at the bar or the gym, no one's going with you, just you. So, if you want to stop cheating, meet yourself, and you never have to abandon yourself again. So be honest with yourself. Stop chasing some fucking perfect fantasy person, because it doesn't exist. You do. Look in the mirror, meet yourself, face yourself. Thank you for listening to Secret Life Podcast. Love to know your thoughts on the topic. Send me secretlifepodcast@icloud.com. Until next time. Thanks again for listening to the show. Please subscribe, rate, share, or send me a note at secretlifepodcast.com. And if you like to check out my book, head over to secretlifenovel.com or Amazon to pick up a copy for yourself or someone you love. Thanks again. See you soon.